In culinary school, we learned the axiom from John Ruskin's Metropolitan Cookbook that says cookery means carefulness, inventiveness, willingness, and readiness of appliances. It means the economy of our grandmothers and the science of a modern chemist. Much testing, no wasting. Back to China for a story about the wonderfulness of authentic Chinese food. I hope that what I have to say will tempt your taste buds for your next trip to the Chinese restaurant. Today, I'm going to tell you things that you may not have known about authentic Chinese food. I'm going to tell you things that you may not have known about American Chinese food. And I'm going to tell you just a little bit about my favorite Chinese dish. In her book, Chinese Foods, Liu Wang makes the observation that the masses could very well be the reason why they put so much emphasis on what they served in every place that I visited during my 7 years living there. One thing that I discovered while I was living in China is that Chinese food is not just one thing. They have recognized as many as 8 different culinary schools or culinary traditions in China. Liu side, which is from up north in Shandong. There's Su side from Jiangsu and Huiyang, also kind of north. Wei Su or Wei side from Huizhou. De side from Zhejiang. Min side from Fujian. Xiang side from Hunan province. Xuan side from Sichuan. And Yue side from Canton or Guangdong province. These 3 provinces in the middle, that's heavy and rich with peppers. In fact, if you go from Fujian in the east and you go westward to Hunan, you go westward to Jiangxi, where I lived, and you go westward to Sichuan, the dishes get progressively hotter. In fact, in Sichuan, they have dishes that they call ma la, la meaning hot. But Sichuan dishes are not only hot, but they're ma from the southern part of China. I want to talk to you a little bit about American Chinese food or Chinese food in America. The immigrants from southern China started arriving here about 150 years ago. Anne Mendelsohn, in her book Chow Chop Suey, mentions that they came at the end of the Opium Wars with Britain. Some of them came because they were trying to escape persecution that came up after the end of the Opium Wars. They came to work on the Continental Railroad. They came, some of them even hoping to take advantage of the California gold rush. They were discriminated against. They were not able to buy land. Many of them were not able to marry. And so, as a community unto themselves, they had to do whatever they could to eat and to survive. And so, they opened little restaurants. And most of these guys were not chefs, they were just home cooks who brought the flavors that they remembered from home. The disadvantage, of course, was that they weren't always able to get ingredients that white miners that were in California. And so, some of them, there's pictures of a picture of a typical Chinese restaurant on the West Coast in the 19th century. But some of the white patrons who came there considered them, according to Liu Haiming in his book, From Cantonese Restaurant to Panda Express. Liu Haiming says they considered a little bit about the dish that I told you was my favorite Chinese dish. Before I went to China, my boss sat me down and told me they have a dish there that's made from the fat of the pig, and it's not healthy, but you're going to like it because it's delicious. And it was. Turns out it was braised pork belly. And pork belly, as we know it, is where we get our bacon from. And there are a few restaurants today that are serving pork belly. as a main dish in their restaurant. This is a picture of a serving of, uh, upside down, a serving of dong po ro or hung shao ro, hung meaning red, shao meaning braised, red braised pork. I think it's delicious. If you get a chance to, you ought to try it. Cuisine has to offer. Ask your server if they have other dishes that might not be on the typical menu. Look up on Wikipedia. There's a Wikipedia page called List of Chinese Dishes, and many of those dishes have hyperlinks that you can read about the dish, and you can even find recipes for the dish. Look it up, see if you can find recipes, try them. I believe you'll like it.